Looks like the whole WNBA no space for hate policy needs to be thrown out the window. That clearly needs to be thrown out. It's no space for hate unless it's Kate. Shout out to Mick Talks Hoops. We got to get into this, man. There is no punishment being sent out for Tiffany Hayes. It's not even a phone call. It's not even a warrant. It's nothing. It's nothing after we watched an entire fan base be called racist over fake noises that weren't.
That was sports commentator going scorched earth on the WNBA tonight. And folks, he is 100% right. The villain tonight has a name, Tiffany Hayes, guard for the Golden State Valkyries. And the second villain has a name too, Cathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the Women's National Basketball Association. Here is what we know. Last Saturday, the Indiana Fever beat the Valkyries 90-82. Caitlin Clark just came back from a back injury. Hayes and Clark got into it on the floor. And then Tiffany Hayes went home, opened up her phone, and publicly endorsed a fan post threatening Caitlin Clark with violence. She liked it. She replied to it. And the commissioner of this league has done absolutely nothing about it. No suspension, no fine, not even a phone call. But that's not even the worst part. Watch what happens next.
For that, take a look at this here. The WNBA's no space for hate policy applies to every player except Caitlin Clark. Tiffany Hayes is publicly encouraging her friends to attack Caitlin Clark, and there's been no response from either you or the WNBPA. Suspend Tiffany Hayes immediately at WNBA, at WNBPA, at Tip Hayes. Cathy Engelbert's dropping the damn ball again.
That is Mick Talks, and he is saying out loud what every sports fan in America is thinking tonight. The WNBA's so-called no space for hate policy applies to every player in this league except Caitlin Clark. Suspend Tiffany Hayes immediately. That is not a hot take. That is the bare minimum. Now compare this to last season. Angel Reese claimed she heard racist noises from Fever fans. The WNBA launched a full investigation. Press releases, statements, promises of zero tolerance. Now a sitting player encourages violence against the face of the entire league, and the response is silence. Here's the thing. That is not an oversight. That is the policy.
Okay, now let's take a look at this here. It says Golden State Valkyries Tiffany Hayes has seemingly endorsed a fan's offer to inflict violence on Caitlin Clark after they clashed during a game last week. The pair clashed during the Indiana Fever's 90-82 victory over the Valkyries on Saturday, which saw Clark return after missing one game with a back problem, okay? And we all know what went down there. And then it says, you know, fans on social media claim Hayes responded by saying, better get your out of my fucking face. Clark taunted her, bring it on, let's go, step it up, whatever.
Let me walk you through exactly what happened, because the league wants you to forget it already. Saturday night, Fever versus Valkyries. Clark just back from a back injury, and she dropped buckets in the win. During the game, Hayes and Clark exchanged words. Hayes was caught on a hot mic telling Clark to bring it on. Fine. Trash talk happens. That is basketball. But then Tiffany Hayes goes online after the game, and a fan posts a thinly veiled threat aimed at Caitlin Clark. And what does Tiffany Hayes do? She likes it. She replies to it. She tells the fan, quote, "Girl, that's real. We keep it one," end quote. That is not trash talk anymore.
Oh, and then, you know, we know what Tiffany Hayes decided to go and do on social media, inciting fans to go on and attack her off the floor. This is that whole thread on that situation, okay? And we know Tiffany Hayes was caught on a hot mic and all of this stuff. But the problem is the WNBA is doing nothing about it, guys. They don't care. They don't care to.
That is a sitting professional athlete co-signing violence against another professional athlete. And the commissioner of the league has gone silent. Now look, do I think this fan is going to actually hurt Caitlin Clark? No, I don't. But that is not the standard the WNBA set. The WNBA set the standard last year when they investigated Indiana fans over racism that nobody could verify. They set the standard by promising zero tolerance. They have a logo for it. They have a slogan for it. They put it on the court. And what comes next is the moment that broke this whole thing wide open.
So, as you can see, an anonymous fan is making vague threats towards Caitlin Clark. And an anonymous WNBA player not only endorsed the threat by liking it, she also replied to the threat by saying, "Girl, that's real. We keep it 100. In fairness to Tiffany Hayes, do I think this threat is serious?
That right there is the smoking gun. An anonymous fan makes a vague threat against Caitlin Clark. And a WNBA player, later identified as Tiffany Hayes, not only likes the post, she replies to it, she validates it, she encourages it. And Cathy Engelbert is sitting in her office in New York, pretending it didn't happen. Make no mistake, a sitting WNBA player publicly endorsed a violent threat against the face of the entire league, and the commissioner can't be bothered to pick up the phone. This is the same commissioner who launched a multi-week investigation when Angel Reese felt like she heard something. This is the same league that punished the Indiana Fever fanbase before a single piece of evidence was produced. And now they want us to believe they didn't see this one. Please. And here's what nobody is reporting. What happens next tells you everything.
But here's the problem for the WNBA. You have set a precedent against this kind of discourse. Remember last year when the WNBA launched their latest doofus slogan, "No space for hate, no space for hate. We are a league of feminine love."
Exactly. Y'all pushed the no space for hate thing. That is hate. That is hate. You guys aren't even holding to the thing that you guys put out.
Y'all pushed a no space for hate, and that is hate. He nailed it. The WNBA front office launched No Space for Hate as a season-long marketing campaign. They paid consultants, they printed banners, they lectured fans for an entire summer, and the first real test of that policy, a player threatening another player, they failed. They didn't just fail it, they ignored it. So let me ask you something, and be honest. If Caitlin Clark had liked a post threatening Tiffany Hayes, what would have happened? Be honest. There would have been congressional hearings. There would have been suspensions. There would have been press conferences. We all know it.
WNBA investigated fans of the Indiana Fever because Angel Reese claimed to be the victim of mythical racism. They launched a full investigation into the Fever fan base, also known as the only fan base keeping this turd afloat. Of course, they didn't find a damn thing, but the precedent has been set. The WNBA front office, they have promised, we will keep our players safe. We protect our players from any and all criticism.
There it is in black and white. The WNBA launched a full federal-style investigation into Indiana Fever fans because Angel Reese said she heard noises. They never found anything. There was nothing to find. But the precedent was set. The league told every player, every fan, every reporter, we will protect our athletes from any threat, real or imagined. Those are the WNBA's words. And now a Golden State Valkyries player encourages violence against Caitlin Clark on the public internet with a like and a reply. And the league has gone silent. That is not protection, that is selection. Because the real story isn't just what happened tonight. It's what this means for everything coming next.
So, what are they going to do about this threat to Caitlin Clark? Better yet, how would the WNBA handle this situation if the roles were reversed?
Exactly. We had a full investigation launched over fake noises. There was a full investigation on that. It was an ongoing thing. Now, if Caitlin Clark fans would have done this and Caitlin Clark would have did what Tiffany Hayes did, it would have been a race thing. It would have been a whole war. It would have been a lot. And the fact that the WNBA has sat idly by and done nothing about it is ridiculous.
Now imagine the script flipped. Imagine for 1 second that Caitlin Clark had a back and forth with another player, went home, opened her phone, and liked a fan post threatening that player. What happens? I'll tell you exactly what happens. ESPN goes wall to wall for 72 hours. Stephen A. Smith does an hour-long opening monologue. Every mainstream sports outlet in this country calls her a national disgrace. The Fever front office issues a public apology. Adam Silver gets pulled into it, and the WNBA hands down a suspension before sundown. That is what happens. We all know it. And the fact that we all know it is the entire problem.
There's one particular comment that could be construed as a threat to Tiffany Hayes. "Hey, Kate, I got some cousins in the backwoods of Iowa. They'll ride their tractors down at dawn, and your darn tootin' will handle business. You just let me know, you hear?" In this pretend scenario, not only does Caitlin Clark like the comment, she also replies and says, "Hey, Remus, that's real. Thanks for your support."
He is not wrong. He is painting the picture every honest sports fan in this country already sees. The WNBA has two sets of rules, one for Caitlin Clark, one for everybody else. And let me tell you something, that is not sustainable. You cannot build a league around protecting your stars and then refuse to protect your biggest star. That is the fastest way to bankrupt a sport. And we have seen this before. This is not the first time a women's professional league looked the other way while their generational talent got bullied. Back in 1997, Cynthia Cooper had to put up with disrespect from the league office her whole career. Back in 2008, Candace Parker dealt with the exact same kind of treatment her rookie year. When a player threatens the existing power structure of women's basketball, the league closes ranks. We saw it with Cooper, we saw it with Parker, and we are seeing it again right now with Clark.
How would the mainstream media react? How would WNBA players react? This is so racist! The evil white man is threatening an oppressed minority! This is so scary and traumatizing! The WNBA would launch an investigation. They would track down the IP address and the diversity deputies.
Now let me tell you what veterans of this game are saying behind the scenes. Sue Bird, on her podcast just last week, said the league has a communication problem with Clark. That is Hall of Fame diplomacy for the league is failing her. Rebecca Lobo on ESPN said, the physical play against Clark has crossed a line. Becky Hammon told reporters in San Antonio she would be on the phone with the commissioner within an hour if one of her players got threatened the way Clark just did. When three Hall of Famers, three women who built this league with their bare hands, are publicly saying the league is mishandling its star, you have got a 5-alarm fire in the front office.
Now you gotta remember, there are a lot of Caitlin Clark fans who believe that she is being targeted by jealous WNBA players.
Yep.
For normal people, this doesn't make sense. Why would you want to butcher the cash cow? Why would you want to turn the golden goose into the polished turd? But during her rookie season, WNBA players were blinded by jealousy, and there were several instances where they were overly physical with
And there it is. WNBA players blinded by jealousy. And the league has decided that protecting that jealousy is more important than protecting their cash cow. Now look, what does this mean going forward? Let me give you 5 things. Number 1. Every player in this league is watching how Cathy Engelbert handles Tiffany Hayes. If she does nothing, every player knows Clark is fair game. Number 2. Every sponsor who signed a deal with this league based on Clark's rookie year is reading the same headlines you are. Number 3. ESPN coverage is about to shift. They have to cover this now. Number 4. Clark's agent at Excel Sports Management is documenting every single one of these incidents. And number 5. When the next CBA gets negotiated, Caitlin Clark is going to have all the leverage. Mark it down. And here's the one thing nobody is talking about. The biggest consequence of all is still coming.
Man, he's cooking, man. Make sure you go over there behind the line. KC is over there cooking, man. I'm telling you, there would be a full-on investigation if this were the other way around. Cathy Engelbert dropped the ball. WNBA dropped the ball. They are doing nothing about this Tiffany Hayes situation. Get down.
So here is where we stand tonight. Tiffany Hayes, a player in the Women's National Basketball Association, publicly liked and replied to a post threatening Caitlin Clark with violence. The league has done nothing. No suspension, no fine, not even a phone call. And when a league launches a full investigation over fake noises, but won't lift a finger when their biggest star gets threatened, that is not an oversight. That is the policy. That is who they are. Now I want to hear from you, and I want you to pick a side in the comments below. Option 1. Tiffany Hayes should be suspended for the rest of the season, and Cathy Engelbert should be fired by the end of the month. Option 2. The WNBA is right to let this slide because Clark is just a rookie who needs to learn her place. Type a 1 or type a 2. Let the comments decide tonight. And if you are tired of watching this league disrespect the woman who built it, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with one person who needs to see it. I'll see you on the next one.